Yes, I know that this is dark. Night is a dark time for me. It's dark time for everybody. Anyways, I really appreciate OLIGHT. OLIGHT is a brand that I've worked with for a while and I've used for quite a bit longer. I've been using them for at least 4 years, and I've seen them progressively take huge strides in improvement for design, quality, reliability, the mechanisms, the user interface. All of that seems to have a lot of good feedback. They have a constant feedback loop through the internet, through Facebook. They're a very, very receptive company. And that's why I've been encouraged to work with them, as I find out that they really do listen, they really do consider, and they make changes to their products. Now what I have right here is an OLIGHT Valkyrie. It's the PL Mini 2, but this one happens to be blacked out. I did a little video a while ago, actually quite a few videos, on the PL2, and I like the minis. I have full-size OLIGHTs as well, but I like this one because it works particularly well with some holsters I've had designed for these. I've designed entire holsters, not just around the gun, but around this light because it's so versatile and it works so well. This one is black because everything else I have on the gun is basically black. So they threw this out to the channel. I do have an OLIGHT S rechargeable version here. I also have the non-rechargeable with the side compartment, the SE, that I've shown on my channel before. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and take a few shots now that I've introduced you to what it is that's on this dark figure here. At about 25 yards, that little light provides so much illumination for such a generous area, and it's so tiny. All right, starting off with a rock drainage area I have about 40 yards ahead of us. And here's what I can see. I do have a little shadow coming off my can. If you didn't have a can on, obviously it's going to illuminate much better than that. But I'm going to tell you that my optic is still in the illuminated zone. So when I put out my sight, I can still see just fine on the illumination for my optic. Let's see if I can do that for you. See, so that suppressor shadow isn't actually an issue at all. If I wanted to, I could run the light a little bit further forward on my Picatinny. I have plenty left over. But this is the actual image that I'm getting. It lights up at least 25 feet across the lane, and I'm getting light all the way to the bushes, so I know it can do 35 yards, no problem. A really nice cone. There's momentary. Works nice, and then permanent, just one press down. Looks really good. I can pierce into the woods a little bit. And it's not a crazy direct light, but it's direct enough that I can get in the woods a little ways. I can get past 5 or 6 trees and see past some of those conifers over there. All right, here's a Connex box at about 15 yards. As you can see, at 15 yards, it's plenty direct. I'm illuminating all of it, both sides of the doors, left and right. I'm getting a nice amount of illumination. Spill, I have to have decent spill with weapon lights because I use them in hunting environments a lot, or as a bear protection. Maybe not with the pistol I'm wearing right now, but it is a thought, so I need some spill. One more time. And that's definitely respectable. It'd give me some comfort for my surroundings. I don't have such a hot center spot that it's blinding me out, nor is it all focused into one place and losing some of that side energy. This time from the side of the Connex box, just to show you at 10 yards, still I can illuminate both sides. I still have somewhat of a center spot, but it's just got a really decent spill. Can get the full height, the full length, the full width, everything, and a little bit before me and a little bit over the top. I do have that suppressor shadow still, which wouldn't be there traditionally with most carry pistols. Especially if I scooch it forward just a little bit more, less of that would be noticeable. I always think it's good to have a practical demonstration in an environment where there already are some ambient lights. So this has a parking lot light behind me, then ahead of me there's one to the right, and there's a light on the side of that building. I have a vehicle there at 45 yards. And at 45 yards, here's what illumination looks like. It's still pretty powerful. I'm actually quite impressed that I'm able to get much of a contrast on that van, but I easily can. It's very, very strong. I could identify if somebody's in there, around there, underneath. It's putting out a lot of light, and I can get a lot of detail on that building. Again, if I didn't have a suppressor, you wouldn't be dealing with the shadow that you see there. Now you could probably hear with the echo in my voice, we're in a gym. It's like a 1/3 size gym. And here's the illumination across from corner to corner. The entire room is lit up. Everything around me, behind me, has decent illumination. I'm not gonna have issue reading numbers on the door code here next to me behind the light. I'm actually illuminated behind the light. I have light colored walls, and that does help to reflect some of that. I have really tall ceilings, hopefully you can see that. These are 35-foot ceilings, I think, something like that, maybe taller. But that whole gym, this whole area, is illuminated really well. There is a hot spot on the flag, now it's on the door, and you can see that hot spot is underneath my suppressor shadow, so it's never actually gonna interfere, even with the suppressor, which is really nice. That's why I can use this on hunting guns, defensive guns, or even rifles at times. You can get the hoop, and that's what my eyes see when it's off. It's just completely black in here. It's quite a lot of help to illuminate an entire room like this. Now, obviously, I use an arc field. This is the arc field. It's not the Pro, it's not the newer one. It's actually one of the originals. And I really like this one a lot. It's always been with me, but I have some of the newer ones. When you're illuminating a room, you shouldn't be using a gun unless you actually have a threat or there's an issue of some sort. But I'm gonna tell you that if you had to clear a building or walk through, yes, this feels comfortable to me. I could clear a building with this with confidence. I don't think I need much more illumination for close ranges like what you see here. All right, this is gonna be the extent of my microphone's range probably, but I wanted to give you a feel for what that would look like from the other perspective. Obviously right now you can't see anything, so it's very, very bright. Looks really good. I can clear this whole room super well, including some exterior windows. I can get a little bit of penetration out the windows with this. Second levels, storage areas, whole place is lit up really well with this. I feel very comfortable with that. I've got a door behind me. And immediately when I open up this relatively deep storage area, I feel very comfortable. I can see everything in behind the doors. All right, let's continue our building walk. You can see now I don't have that suppressor shadow going on. I've got a staircase here, kind of a tall staircase. And it's not so blinding that it just kills me against the door when I'm really close with the light, but I can still see around me really well in this area. It's quite a wide area. I can't really, I don't know how to explain that well enough for you as you're watching this, but I can illuminate quite a generous area. I mean, from the top to the bottom of this gym area. And everywhere around the stairs and going through this door, I don't think it would be blinding me against these surfaces, even when I get very, very close, which is one of the advantages of a smaller, not quite as intense center light or hotspot. All right, that's been a little bit of walking around some buildings, practical application around vehicles, nighttime walks, maybe in the woods, things that I actually would do. That's what I'm trying to represent with this video. I'm gonna finish it off because I do a little target shooting at nighttime. Sometimes we don't have a lot of sunlight here in Minnesota, especially northern Minnesota. Towards the fall and the winter, it can just be dark early. So you get done with work and you really need a light to actually shoot targets even, which means I get to do some night shoots. Sometimes that's steel, sometimes it's paper. So there's a pretty nice 5-shot group. Having the green backer helped a lot at 25 yards. Obviously, it was just a better contrast for me with the red dot. I can fully see everything, but my other target was a little bit small, so This is really small, whether it's daytime or nighttime, but I sent it anyways. I put 10 shots there at 25 yards. Looks like it was a few inches, but when I have a nice contrasty target to shoot at, I'm hitting that. And I was hitting my 2-inch popper every time at 25 for the most part, every time. How about, let's just say most of the time. I was hitting it most of the time at 25 yards with this little setup. I'm very pleased with it. OSIGHT and OLIGHT make some awesome products. If you haven't checked out one of these PL Mini 2s yet, whether in flat dark earth or in black, like I've shown on my channel, you really need to. The fact that you can QD this onto all of your systems, you can change out the Picatinny plate. It's adaptable. When you loosen it up, you can move the track around to actually place this against your pistol in a superior way. It's very customizable, it's well thought through, and that QD clamp is one of my favorite parts about it. No more twisting coins or trying to lock things on there and find the right tension. This has been the easiest tool to use. Mosquitoes are killing me, so I'm gonna wrap this up. I hope that this video was useful to someone out there. Like, share, or subscribe to my channel. That's always useful. And check out OSIGHT because they have a lot more coming actually this month.